What's going on, my beautiful people out there in the fragrance world? Welcome to PR Scents. So I got a couple of different fragrances at Burlington like a week ago, and I've been testing them out. I did one on Monday, and it's Pepe Jean's London Addicted Indulgence, which is a very, very nice scent. But my God, it doesn't last that long. At least not on me. It doesn't. I don't think I'm becoming nose blind to it. Because even a couple of people I asked after about 2 hours, did they smell it? And they said no. But really nice fragrance. And it was $14.99. So not a big loss. I'll use it at the house, just spray myself every now and then, and I'll just smell it that way. And I also got Afnan's 9AM Dive. Now I know I'm about a year late on this one. Actually, I'm really late on this one. This one came out in 2022. So I'm a little late. That's George drinking. Sorry about that. He always does that when I'm doing a video. Don't know why. But I figured, still, what the hell? Let me do a video on 9AM Dive and tell you guys what I think about it. So if you're interested, stick around. I'll see you in a second. All right, guys, so let's get into it. This one's not going to be very long because, I don't have that much to say about it. But this is the, let me just show you real quick. I like the presentation. This is the bottle, okay? I paid $32.99, I think it was, at Burlington, or $34.99, one or the other. But this is the box. I'm sorry. You get the hologram back there, shows you that it's a real one. If they can counterfeit the box, I'm sure they can counterfeit a hologram label as well, but who knows. And then what I really like about it is it sits in here. Now, if you see it's a little wet, it's because I put it in the fridge after I started using it. And I've read a couple of different documents that talk about maceration or maturation, as some of you like to say. And one of the best ways is to put it in the fridge for a week or so. And that makes it a little stronger. So that's why it's a little wet and it's cold. But it's pretty. The bottle is nice. I think it's poetic. Like, it's 9AM Dive. It's a blue kind of fragrance and it's all wet and cold. I like that. The cap is really, really heavy. It's along the same lines as 9PM. Which I love 9PM. So, but the cap is heavy. The atomizer, nothing to write home about, but it's not bad. It's a nice mist. The scent, guys, that's what I really enjoy. I enjoy the scent. It's so good. It's got a sweetness to it, a little spiciness, not a lot, just a little spiciness. Very citrusy, like a citrus sweetness to it when it opens up. That's what I get. And then as it starts to dry down, it gets a little smokier and woodier. Not woodier like, not woodier like this by the fire, not by the fireplace, but this is Rock by Wood Intense. Just a little earthy wood kind of feel, very light as well. It's a typical kind of blue fragrance. I brought some out. It reminds me of things like Lattafa's Fakar, which is a YSLY EDP clone. It reminds me a little of Dylan Blue, a little bit of Eros, a little bit of Dolce & Gabbana's Light Blue as well. And then I have this one, which I'm going to do a review of, that I just got. I think I'm one of the only ones that does reviews on the Blackstone collection, and I found a new one. And this one is a limited edition, but this is Blackstone's Tonka Bean. And this is a blue fragrance as well. And they all kind of have that same bluish DNA. The difference that 9AM has, though, to me, is that as it starts to dry down, it gets like I said, a little earthy, a little woody, still always that sweetness in there, still that slight citrus in there as well. But it does smell very, very nice. A lot of people compare it to Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum. And so they say it smells a lot like that. I have the no, I have the perfume, and you know they do have similarities. They really do. There's no grapefruit in this, but the citrus note that you get out of it, that citrusy kind of feel, does remind you a little bit of that grapefruit note in there as well. And I wrote it's a safe fragrance to get. It's I would say office safe. It's just a safe fragrance. It's very versatile, so I would say you could probably wear this the whole year if you wanted to. And like I said, it's a little woody. Now its top notes are lemon, mint, black currant, and pink pepper. And the black currant is probably where you're getting that slight sweetness. Apple, cedar, and incense in the mid. And you do get a little bit of that crisp apple kind of feel as well. And then ginger, sandalwood, patchouli, and jasmine. It does get, as it starts to dry down, a little powdery, and I think that's the jasmine, a little woody, so it's just a really, really nice scent. Now, I think this is good for any age. I would say probably younger, but I'm old, and I wear this, I've been wearing it a lot because I like it a lot. So I don't like to give age groups. I mean, there are some that I would say, hey, if you're 15 years old, I don't know if you want to start using things like Ragba Wood Intense or Oud for Glory, those kind of fragrances. But as far as a fresh blue kind of fragrance, this one is very, very nice. Is it unisex? I would say, ladies, if you want to wear it. If it works for you, go ahead and do it. I hate putting that label on it. There are some that I will say, this is really, really manly. But for the most part, you ladies find something you like, you wear it. Don't worry about it. What else do I have to say about this one? It could also be a day fragrance, night fragrance. There's some that I say, no, this is night. This is when I'm going out. This one I think is versatile enough that you could wear it throughout the day. Like I said, it's office safe. To me, it's office safe. But let's talk about the downside. So the downside is that it does not last that long. It just doesn't. I put it on and it smells great. About an hour and a half later, it's a skin scent. After about an hour to an hour and a half later, you don't get that much projection out of it. I was telling Brenda, hey, do you smell it? And we were at the 2-hour mark. She says, not really. But then when she got close to my neck, she said, yeah, I smell it now. So it's a very close skin scent. It doesn't project as much as I'd like it to, and the projection you get will last maybe half an hour, if that. I have read some reviews where some people say, oh, it lasts 8 to 10 hours on my skin. I don't see it, so just be warned by that. And I always tell you guys, your skin chemistry is different than mine, so on your skin, it may last 8 to 10 hours. I doubt it, but it may. But on my skin, I'd say I get a good 2 hours, maybe 3, and then it's gone. I don't smell it anymore. So, I just want to give that heads up to you guys. I say that a lot about a lot of fragrances, that they don't seem to last that long. Citrus freshies tend not to last that long anyway, because, they're built on all those citruses, bergamot, mandarin orange, all that kind of stuff. And those notes tend not to last as long, and it goes into the finale, if you will, fairly quickly. This one does kind of the same thing. But is it a nice fragrance? Yeah, I'd say it really is. And if you don't have it, or you don't have the other ones that I showed you, you might want to pick it up if it's on clearance at Burlington for some reason or another. If it goes down under $35, and I think you can find it online for maybe like $25 or a little less. I will put that down here. I'll look around and see where it is, and I'll put it down here in the, what is it they call that? The micron or whatever. My little bottom banner. I'll put it down there. So yeah, that's what I have for you guys. Do I like the scent? Yeah. The bottle's really pretty. I believe that the liquid is actually blue, but I'm not sure. And the scent is very, very nice. Really, really nice. I just wish it lasted longer, because it doesn't. And I did see people write, the same thing, that On their skin, it becomes a skin scent after about 2 hours. One person said an hour. I agree with the 1 to 1.5 hour mark. But most people do say that it's a nice fragrance. Is it unique? Will it knock your socks off? No. I mean, if you had any of these and then you smell this, you'll be like, it's kind of the same thing. You know, it's a blue fragrance kind of thing. So I don't think it's one that you would get crazy about. But is it nice? Yeah, it is. If you see something different, if you go to Burlington and you see Lattafa Satin, you don't have that one, I would go for that one. If you don't have Camera, which they do have there, I would go for that one. Oud for Glory, if you like to try oud, if you like a little heavier scent, I would go for that one. Because those are all, I've seen them all at Burlington. I've even seen Assad Bourbon at Burlington as well. So yeah, if I had to go between one or the other, I go with the other. But if you don't have any blue fragrances, anything that's that citrusy, uplifting, summery kind of fragrance, and you want one, that's not a bad way to go. And like I said, it may last a long time on your skin. So if I had to give this one a rating, a Jose coffee worthy rating, I would give it like a 70% coffee rating. The reasons for that are its performance to me is lacking. I do wish it lasted longer. It's nothing, out of this world. It does smell nice, but so do a whole bunch of other ones. They're all in the same genre. So it's nothing that blows your socks away. And, if I had to say, and yeah, just because of those reasons, I would say 70-75% coffee worthiness. So do with that what you will, guys. So that's all I have for you guys. I hope you really found this informational. If you did, please do me a favor. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I did give a fragrance away the other day, and I just said, write a comment that says, I want it, or something like that. And so there was someone named Norma, I think. Her handle was a little longer. It was Norma something. So I'm going to send it to her because she wanted to give it to her son. Now, I don't know if her son's going to like it because it's on Abiad leather. And so I don't know if her son's ready for that. But yeah, Norma, if you're watching this one and you see it, don't forget, send me an email and we'll chat. So that's about it, guys. That's all I have for you. Please hit that like, please hit the subscribe, and comment. Do you guys have it? What do you think? How long does it last on your skin? Because I'm so curious for people to tell me whether on your skin it lasts, a good 6 to 8 hours, or it lasts an hour to 2 hours. Because this is a very polarizing scent in terms of its, how do you say it? In terms of its performance. So, I really am interested at what other people's opinions are on this one. So, guys, you know what to do after this. You guys make sure that you be safe, you be loved, and I will talk to you later. Thanks, guys. Bye.